Hello, this is Marc in a short and informative video on my pursuit to legalize pot here in Vancouver. You know, the sale, growing, and possession of pot for basically all adults through a Marijuana Party of Canada tax loophole. Okay? And I'm doing great strides towards it. And things are moving along, and this is what this video is about. Okay, basically, I have this beautiful little one-page pamphlet, like this side here and this side here, explaining how I can legalize pot this summer by the time the writ dropped. And today I ran across, I expanded my pushing with the government and ran across a couple of legal experts who totally agree that what I'm doing will legalize the sale and selling of cannabis throughout Canada. They can't stop it, okay? And literally it has to happen by the time the writ dropped. Because basically I was charged for possession, you know, with cookies that they stole, and I was truly protected under what's called an IC75 2R8 protocol. And when they stole my cookies, it was a trap. What can I say? At the time, I knew there wasn't a chief electoral officer in Vancouver. I knew they'd probably screw up, but I had to do it. Okay, I filed for damages with the chief electoral officer of Vancouver, and there isn't one. Okay, it's unheard of that there's no chief electoral officer in a campaign. They have to elect one eventually, and the fact that they refused to the chief of police, whose officers stole the cookies, had to pay for it, and if he didn't, then the mayor, as the head of the police commission, had to do something. And both of them are pretty well responsible of why isn't there a chief electoral officer in Vancouver. And until there is one, no one can write the check. So because I had no answer from anybody, I filed in BC Supreme Court to have a judge tell someone to write me a check. Okay, at the time, I was told that, advised by BC Elections, that since I was using an Elections Canada form as a tax collection purposes, then I had to drag in the Chief Electoral Officer of Canada to do his duty, because there was no CEO for Elections Vancouver. Basically, a justice was served on short leave to send us parking to a common law court, okay, where we could be ruled under common law, and we exercised the right to be ruled under de jure justice that day, which means even though we're entering a maritime jurisdiction court, we can be ruled under de jure justice. And since we are a federal party, we did insist on doing that. A legal court, and one of the things that benefits you in a court of law, acting under a political party, or at least a federal political party. Now, this said, I have to wait for someone to be appointed as an officer, a CEO officer for Elections Vancouver, and as soon as they do that, they have to give me a $3,000 check for the cookies that were stolen by two cops who have every excuse for not knowing what to do because there wasn't a CEO to answer the questions. In law, the CEO would have had to come down. They're answerable. She would have known she was going to be called because I would have told her. I didn't have a problem with Janice, the last CEO. She had a problem with me. She's not there anymore. What can I say? But as soon as they appoint one, they got to give me a $3,000 check. Isn't that cool? As soon as they give me a $3,000 check, pot's legal. And that's because I am using the power contained by the Smith ruling, okay? Smith is being denied his right to the rule of law because of the creation of the federal courts, okay? Federal courts are a contract court appointed, set up by Harper to administer this new MMPR program, which is there to facilitate the new industry called cannabis manufacturing, and it's a millionaire's club. Expect $500 to $700 ounces, and they revert back to the same old underground world, supplying and the criminal enterprise and everything else happening because the legal pot's going to be through the roof, way too expensive. Now we're fighting this, okay? And we actually can, through the Marijuana Party, and I'm doing it for myself. And if basically there's all kinds of people who are saying, Mark, just show us how it works. And how it works is I got to beat it. Okay, and if until I beat it, I really don't expect many participants because that's just the way it is. So, bottom line is, I'm patiently waiting for them to appoint a CEO and CFO. I have the threat that I can file in the Supreme Court of Canada, and I just may do that if I keep getting these negative walls everywhere I go. It's a legal quirk. I guarantee that by the time the writ drops, as my pamphlet says, I guarantee by the time the writ drops, pot's legal. Why? The ability to do what I'm doing after the writ drops under the BC Elections Act and the signed donations is pale compared to what I can do under the Elections Act of Canada, but we can only do it for 40 days, okay? And during those 40 days or so, that election season, while the writs drop before the election, we will definitely be turning heads, electing people to the City Hall, and that will affect change of legalizing pot on the grounds that the city is hard-pressed to fight an argument that why doesn't it want to protect its citizens, protect its clubs, and make tens of millions of dollars in taxes. Okay? Our tax is a straightforward 10% sales tax. No extras, none of this end up being $15 a gram in Washington and $20 a gram in Colorado. No. What we're setting up here is to have the $5 to $9 grams available, $150 to $200 ounces, because the existing structure of the MMAR program has no problems providing this kind of service, at least in Vancouver and BC, where apparently 50% of the cases are already, of the MMAR program are. This is where it's happening. We have to protect the growers here, and they're being lined up to be those classes of persons as lambs to the slaughter. And it's a repeat of what Hitler did, and through the Supreme Court's approval, and it sure looks like the Supreme Courts are being complicit again. Go read my Lest We Forget articles. They're very clear, they're very tight, and if you don't think Harper is capable of Hitler-esque activities, then that's maybe because why you're voting for him. He's so good for the economy. What can I say? The man is fundamentally evil. I'm attacking him. And through the law. Okay? The Marijuana Party of Canada must be ruled under the rule of law of Canada. They can't transfer us over into that jurisdiction. Okay? Because as soon as they do, they destroyed our party. We are in under the supremacy of Parliament, and we're supposed to be treated to common law jurisdiction in the courts of Canada. And we're standing under a court ruling that actually legalizes cookies. Okay, and I'm a cookie manufacturer, and I'm using this cookie loophole to legalize the entire industry through an IC75 2R8 protocol that can be used anywhere across Canada. You know, seriously. People in Toronto could be doing what I'm doing right now. People in Prince George. People in... because you all have elections right now. People all over BC and all over Canada could be doing this tax loophole I'm doing. And I see no problem. If you want to wait until after I do it, then wait till after I do it. But at least keep informed as to what I'm doing. Because hooker, you know, no matter hook or sink, I'm legalizing pot. There's just no way around it. Okay, it's too important for me. You know, it's a battle that I'm going to win. Okay, and I'm sorry if you think paying 10% sales tax is too much. It's a fraction of what you'll be paying through the MMPR program. And we're basically trying to set up to be the competition to them under jurisdiction. We operate under common law jurisdiction, and it's basically like being on an Indian reserve. The cops don't have authority to cross that jurisdiction line of a political party. And just watch what I'm up to. I'm going to do it anyways, okay? If you want to participate, call me, okay? I'll post the numbers at the end of the video. On that, I really could use some support. Okay? Thank you.